G'day with the traders. I'm Roy, I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Warn Dogs.
And Calvin.
I don't understand. I honestly don't understand this thing. I don't.
Well, I'll tell you why you're in that thing, mate. It's because you scored 1868. So obviously Calvin was the lowest scorer of the round. I'm not sure why he's not used to wearing the green vest by now, because we did it last year as well. What is with that score, mate? Seriously.
There's a lot of issues with that score, and I'll tell you what, we'll hit them more later on, but I'll tell you what. Dog, what did you score this week?
I had 1944,
look at you.
Which is a massive score. It's about 200 points up on last week, so I'm up and about. The Bombers are up and about, and it's just been a good weekend of fantasy football and real football for me.
Yeah, well, I had 1910, and for some reason I'm happy with it. That shows how bad I was last week, but gone are the days where we used to just crank out 2000s.
Straight up as well.
It's ever elusive this year, but obviously to get these scores, we had some good players and we had some bad players. Now, we'll start on a positive note. We'll give everyone gives a +3 for someone in their team. So, Warnie, who's your +3?
Well, I didn't think I'd be saying this, but Sean Higgins, he cracked the ton for me in the back line.
I reckon he's the all-time leader of -3s. And he's got a positive. He'll be wrapped.
Yeah, so here you go. Well done, mate. You know, solid last week, considering the back line carnage.
Yeah.
But this week, 100 points.
You take
easy.
that.
Triple figures.
Right. Well, my +3 goes to the Bont.
Ah,
you
brought him in this week.
I did, and what a reward. He had about 133. I'll tell you what, if he's not in your team, work out how to get him in this week.
He's a beast.
He's a tackling machine. That's back-to-back weeks of 10 tackles.
Is he going to do that every week? But is he going to be a top 6 forward?
Yes. Well, at this stage, he's going to be very close. Now, did you have a +3?
I did. You know who I'm going to give it to?
Who?
Oxley.
I reckon.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Right. He had 100+ and replaced Gibson, because I had a very, very, very bad week.
You did.
But he comes in for Gibson.
Amazing.
I pat myself on the back.
That is very lucky.
It was gold. It was absolute gold. 100+ from a guy who got vested last week.
On about 25. That's amazing.
That's a great effort.
With every
you got
positive,
lucky, though. It was on your bench.
We're going to counter it with a negative, unfortunately. Warn Dog.
Oh, well, I'm going to go off that because I have Oxley sitting on my bench.
Okay.
Which was a smart thing to do off last week.
Yep.
And also had Adam Sard sitting on my bench.
Yep. That's a lot of points, mate.
A lot of points in there. 180 odd points there between those guys. I'm giving my -3 to Luke Beveridge for giving the green vest to Brett Goods.
He didn't actually score much less than Goods, Beveridge.
Well,
15 or so points, was it?
17 points 17. I think he had. So, yeah, unfortunate.
I thought he was safe. He got that 70 last week, and I thought he was safe from the vest.
He's not the vest sort of candidate that I thought he'd be.
No.
You were wrong.
I was wrong.
You were wrong.
Well, here's my -3. I never thought I would say this. Dane Beams, I spent the big bucks to get him, and he did not get to 50. So that's last week he got 83. This week, sub 50, about 49.
Dropping some cash.
I'll tell you what, dropping a heap of cash.
Yeah.
It's devastating.
Leuenberger.
Is he yours?
All bad enough. Leuenberger. What did he score? He scored under 40.
Yeah, he was really bad.
Oh, my God.
It's devastating,
Calvin. Calm down.
Yes. Anyway, top scorers for the round there. They didn't have many of those sitting there in our teams. Calvin was very close to being able to pick up Barlow there, but Goldstein, he was huge at the top. That's our top scorers.
Certainly was. Now, what about the defenders last week? They were the bone of our contention.
Yes.
They were hopeless. People, we were basically happy with a 60 back there last week.
And ready to trade.
Ready to
trade hard back
Panic
there.
button. But this week, the defenders bounced back. They were amazing. Newsy, exactly. Now, a lot of people tweeting last week saying, do we hold or fold with Newsy? Hopefully you held, because he bounced back. He was great.
I said that, Roy.
He wasn't the only one, too.
Give the boy another week. We've only had 1 week of data. Give the boy another week. Show him the faith that he has shown over the NAB. Boom!
Tell you what, 2 weeks of good data for Taylor Hunt. He bounced back. Well, what did he have? About 115 the first time, and he's gone 84.
He will be making plenty of coin.
His price is going to keep skyrocketing.
Cameron McIntosh. Oh, I even said his name right this time. He is an absolute beast. 96 backing up his 101 from the first week.
We're getting so lucky with him.
We are. And playing him on the field is the right thing to do. With that.
Brody Smith.
Now,
he jumped out at the end.
We were keen.
Very keen. got knocked out right at the end there. So obviously check if he is playing next week, but he's got to be on people's radar. Yench was back there having a crack.
115 Yenchi had, Roy.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it, could you?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, issues coming out of the round, boys. Gary Ablett. Now, you two, I would call you smart by not starting with him. I was not starting with him all pre-season. Then 5 minutes to go before lockout, he looked good in warm-up. I picked him up.
That's probably your biggest meltdown ever, and you've had some big ones.
Just about. Now, he scored 70.
Yeah.
And to back up from his 61. Now, I had no choice but to keep him, and I would have liked to have traded him because he is bleeding cash. He is going down at a rate of knots. So, I think what we need to think about, do people hold the faith with him or trade him?
I think if you've bled this much, you need to hold.
Do you? I think it's still worth enough to get someone good.
The day you trade out Gary Ablett is the day he has 150 back on your head.
Yeah, I would have agreed with that last week, but I've changed my mind. Get rid of him because not only is he bleeding cash, I can't see him actually scoring a respectable midfield score at the moment.
Did you know?
No.
That he has had one tackle for the whole
I did, and his marks are well down as well.
Yes.
So obviously possessions are down, but the key indicators for me, those tackles and marks, I don't want him in my team until he is tackling again.
That's right.
He averages about 6 tackles a game since he's been at the Suns, and he's just not tackling.
With our 2 trades per week, I think it's the way that we go with it. So, when you were talking about holding him, I think everyone needs to trade him now.
Okay, let's talk about Dane Beams then, Destroy.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Same boat?
Yeah, definitely. If I can turn it into a positive somehow, like if I can get him down to someone who's in form and that gives me enough money to do something else, I'll definitely look at doing it. He has dropped to probably an awkward price with those other premiums at the moment, so I really don't know what I'm going to do there, but he's definitely on notice.
All right, now make sure you tune into our podcast. You can find that on iTunes and via SoundCloud, so be ready for that because we'll be giving you all the advice. If you need to get some advice, you can hit us up on Twitter at AFL Fantasy. We're doing our best to answer as many questions as we can via Twitter, but also on the podcast. Good luck.
2,000 next week.
It has to be.
Bring it
has
on.
to be.